Well, hello everybody again. This is Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and we are streaming more stories than ever on the new economy, how people are working, getting back to work. I'm pretty excited about our next guest because, a lot of people don't realize, but Radio Entrepreneurs' second largest audience is in Canada. We have a lot of listeners and friends, maybe because of my roots a little bit in Toronto and Montreal. Big commercial centers, big trade centers with the United States. It's hard to do business in Canada, not grow and not do business cross-border. And, cross-border is becoming a little bit tougher right now due to COVID-19. But our next guest is John Vuong, founder, LocalSEOSearch, and he's out of Toronto. Can't wait to hear about his business. Welcome, John.
Well, thank you for having me, Jeffrey. So I started this agency back in 2013. I'm excited to share some insights with your audience members. So I live not too far from Toronto. I'm a little bit north in Richmond Hill,
Right.
but I still consider myself a Torontonian. However, I was born and raised in Hamilton, so an hour away from Toronto. But
Now
yeah,
almost a suburb of Toronto as well.
yeah, so it's a greater Hamilton region now.
Right.
But because Toronto is so big, and it's encompassing more and more, and transportation hubs are easier to flow nowadays. So, but yeah, in terms of business wise, I started this agency 7 years ago. And the reason I started was I didn't really know much about SEO actually. And for me, it was really just to help, right? Help business owners get a really good return on investment, uncovering their needs and desires. But prior to starting this agency, I actually worked as a salesperson in advertising sales. And I did a lot of traditional media and some digital media sales. And that lasted for over 10 years. And my longest stint was at Yellow Pages. So for me, I was there helping business owners, small, medium size, getting them more, exposure, leads, customers through traditional mediums. And then I transitioned into digital and trying to generate more of a digital presence for business owners.
What's your background that led you into this, that you were studying this? Like, even if I wanted to get, I talk about SEO with all my clients because I do strategy with my clients, but don't ask me to put it together.
So why did I get into this? I'm still wondering why and how, but that's another story. The reason actually was I was at Yellow Pages for 5 years, and the last 2 years were very challenging because I was dealing with thousands of business owners, and every time I met with them, they basically said I was getting less return on my investment. I was spending more than ever, and the leads were never the same as they once were, like
It's
10,
dying,
15
it was
years
a
ago.
dying book.
So the book, their digital presence was not staying up to speed, right? Users were not consuming the medium itself. And therefore, people were gravitating towards different channels. And that's when Google was starting to take off. More and more people were spending more time in front of a computer. Ease of information access, internet speed was faster. Mobile speed was starting to pick up. And therefore, a lot more people were transitioning to digital. And having a website was more of a storefront for bricks and mortar stores, right? And therefore, a lot of people were spending and transitioning their ad dollars and budget to different mediums and channels, not understanding what Google had in store. And so those 2 years were frustrating as a sales rep. People were canceling and letting me know, like, if you guys don't do anything, I'm going to go somewhere else, right? And so for me, that's what I did. I left and did something else, and I created an agency where I knew there was a need and demand, and basically I was selling the service without understanding how to perform the action of getting people results. So I started a business, I guess, differently than most SEOers would start, which is understanding the roots and technical aspects of it. I understood as a business owner wanting to help my fellow business owner colleagues and old clients to help them get more of a digital presence.
Interesting. And are all your clients in the Toronto area, or are you doing work, cross border at all?
Yeah, so most of my clients are majority, I would say 80% is still Canadian, so across Canada. But we do have clients in the US, in UK, and Australia as well. So we do accept businesses who are looking for an agency that can kind of help them navigate to this digital landscape.
So let's say we're here in New England, where I'm situated right now, and why would someone use your agency? What's your competitive advantage, let's say, over a local Boston firm?
Yeah. So again, there's no, I would say, with every single product and service, right? There's agencies for everything, from ad agencies to SEO agencies to content agencies to video agencies. I always tell people you have to find what's fitting, or people or agencies and companies that fit your values. If you have a really solid relationship with them, if they really care about your business, like the value prop is different, but you also want to make sure they're in alignment with your core values, right? So that's what it's all about, connecting with companies. It doesn't matter with, with the advent of the internet and computers, you can work with anyone, anytime, and any country, right? And if you see any value in, if they can really help you elevate your digital presence, does borders really restrict you? Like,
No.
people shop online all the time, right? So why do you prevent services to be on a local landscape, right? So very similar, unless you service a local community, of course, you need to offer a local presence.
It wouldn't limit me, because, it wouldn't be unusual for someone here on the East Coast to use a California contractor to do, or Chicago contractor to do some kind of technology work. And people don't realize that Toronto is one of the 4 main media centers in North America, that it is a technological center for that stuff. So, so I just wanted to bring that up to have you do that. Do you work alone, or do you have staff?
Yeah, so I have a team of over 30 plus, and what we do is we have experts in every single aspect, from content creation, dev, graphic designers, to link builders, to anything to do with SEO, and of course the front end as well.
Oh, that's great. We've been speaking with John Vuong, founder, LocalSEOSearch. John, we'd love to have you on through the year to talk about cases with us. But until then, if someone's interested in your services and knowing more, how would they find you?
Yeah, they can check out my website. It's LocalSEOSearch.ca. And there you can get a free website audit on your website. And really, we can give you an update and benchmark on how you sit with some of your competitors and what we can do to help you elevate your digital presence.
That's great. Thank you. We appreciate you being on the show today. And I'm sure most of our fans in New England don't appreciate those Toronto Raptor pictures behind you.
Yeah, so I've been a big Raptors fan for over 15 years. So I've been a season ticket holder for a while. But last year definitely was one of the most epic, roller coaster years, but memorable for sure, to say the least.
Better chance your basketball team than your hockey team.
Yes, definitely. So that's why I gravitated towards basketball as opposed to hockey.
Well, again, we've been speaking with John Vuong, founder of LocalSEOSearch, and I'm Jeffrey Davis, also chairman of the board, founder of MAGE LLC. John, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Jeffrey.
That's great. Remind everybody, this is Radio Entrepreneurs, more stories to come.